Have you ever laid in bed for a full 7 hours, eyes closed, body still, only to wake up feeling just as tired as the night before? You did everything right. You went to bed at a decent hour. You stayed asleep. Yet somehow you still feel foggy, drained, a little irritable maybe, and maybe you've chalked it up to getting older. That's the common assumption, isn't it? I guess this is just how sleep works after 60. But what if I told you it's not your age? In fact, what if the real reason you're not sleeping well has nothing to do with time, but with four simple things you're doing every day without realizing their impact? Small, quiet habits, the kind of routines that feel harmless, even helpful. But underneath, they're pulling the plug on your rest, silently stealing the deep, healing sleep your body so badly needs. And no, it's not just you. Many people in their 60s, 70s, even 80s are stuck in the same cycle, thinking poor sleep is inevitable, but it's not. Here's something I want you to consider. One of our viewers wrote this: I had no idea I was doing all four of these things wrong. No wonder I was always exhausted. That comment struck a chord because it shows exactly how subtle these mistakes are. You don't notice them until you fix them. So before we go deeper, I want to ask you something. Are you watching this because you're tired of waking up tired? If yes, type the number 1 in the comments so I know this is resonating with you. And if you're not sure yet, just keep listening. Because in this video, I'll show you the 4 habits quietly robbing older adults of deep sleep. But more importantly, I'll show you how to change each one, gently and gradually. Not through medication, not through gimmicks, but through natural adjustments that let your body remember how to sleep again. And you may be surprised, because the first mistake is something nearly everyone does. Now here's the part most people find hard to believe. Once you stop making these 4 little mistakes, your body doesn't take weeks or months to adjust. In fact, many of our viewers have reported sleeping better in just 2 or 3 nights. That's right. Just a few evenings of small, intentional changes, and they're waking up with more clarity, more calm, and a sense of energy they thought had disappeared with age. Why does it happen so fast? Because sleep doesn't just vanish as you get older. It's still there, waiting, but it's been buried under layers of habits that confuse your brain and delay your natural rhythms. So instead of tossing and turning at 2 a.m., wondering, what's wrong with me? Imagine this. You make one small change tonight, just one. And by the third night, you wake up, stretch, and realize your mind feels clearer. Your body feels lighter. You're not just awake, you're rested. That's what happens when you stop pushing against your own biology, because sleep isn't lost. It's simply interrupted. And the good news is, you're in control of the interruptions. Let's look at the first and most common mistake that throws everything off. Let me ask you this. Do you ever wind down your day by watching a little TV? Maybe you check your phone one last time before bed or scroll through the news to catch up. If so, you're not alone. In fact, it's become so common that we hardly think twice about it. But here's the problem. That quiet glow from your screen, whether it's a television, a tablet, or a phone, may be silently wrecking your sleep. Why? Because those devices emit what's called blue light, and your brain treats that light the same way it treats daylight. That means even if it's 10:30 at night and your room is dark, your brain is receiving a confusing signal. It's still daytime. Don't sleep yet. Now here's the kicker. Blue light doesn't have to be bright to do damage. Even the dim glow of your phone screen can delay the release of melatonin, the hormone your body produces to make you feel sleepy. And once melatonin gets delayed or reduced, sleep becomes shallow, interrupted, less restorative. You may fall asleep, but your body doesn't get the full rest it needs. That's why you wake up groggy or you find yourself staring at the ceiling at 3 a.m. not knowing why you're awake again. And for those of us over 60, this effect can be even more pronounced. One study published in the Journal of Sleep Research found that older adults exposed to blue light before bed had significantly lower melatonin production and more fragmented sleep. Even after just a few nights, their sleep quality dropped. So what can you do? First, start by creating a no-screen zone for at least 1 hour before bed. That 1 hour gives your body time to naturally begin releasing melatonin. Instead of scrolling, try one of these. Read a paper book, listen to gentle music, do some slow breathing exercises, or just sit quietly with the lights low. If you must use your phone, switch it to night mode. Lower the brightness all the way. Or better yet, wear blue light blocking glasses, a simple tool that filters out the most harmful wavelengths. Some viewers reported that just 3 nights of avoiding blue light before bed helped them sleep more deeply than they had in years. Because when you stop sending mixed signals to your brain, your body finally gets the message. Instead of saying stay awake, your biology starts to whisper, it's time to rest now. And that's exactly what we want. Now, light isn't the only thing sending your body the wrong signals. There's another culprit that's just as sneaky, and it starts right on your dinner plate. Let me paint a picture you might recognize. It's 8:30 at night. You finally have a quiet moment to yourself. So you make something warm, maybe a little heavier than usual, and you sit down to enjoy dinner in peace. Afterward, maybe a small snack, a little dessert. Then you relax in your chair, maybe drift off for a few minutes, and finally head to bed around 10 or 11. Sounds reasonable, right? But hours later, you're wide awake. You can feel your heart beating just a little too fast. Your stomach feels full. You shift, trying to get comfortable, but something just doesn't feel right. Sleep won't come. Or worse, it comes in waves. Shallow, restless, broken by frequent waking. If that sounds familiar, you're not alone. And no, it's not your imagination. When you eat too late or eat too much in the evening, your digestive system stays busy long after the rest of your body is ready to rest. Your stomach is still working. Blood is still flowing to your gut to process the meal. Your body is in active mode, not sleep mode. And that quiet disruption is enough to push deep sleep out of reach. In fact, a 2020 study on older men found a clear link between late-night eating and subjective sleep disturbances, including trouble falling asleep, light sleep, and waking up feeling unrested. Even meals that felt comfortable were still enough to delay the body's natural rhythm. And here's something most people don't realize. Eating too late doesn't just affect digestion. It also disrupts serotonin production, a chemical that helps regulate mood and turns into melatonin at night. So late meals don't just make you feel full. They keep your brain from entering that deep, peaceful state where rest and repair can happen. What can you do? First, aim to finish dinner at least 3 hours before bedtime. Have you ever turned off the lights, laid your head on the pillow, and felt your body relax? But your mind just won't stop. Your legs are still. Your room is quiet. But your thoughts, they're wide awake. You replay a conversation from earlier. You worry about your children. You remember a bill you meant to pay or something you forgot at the grocery store. Maybe it's not even a specific thought, just a slow, low hum of anxiety that won't leave you alone. That's mistake number 3, not giving your brain a chance to power down before bed. And after 60, this happens more often than we'd like to admit. You see, retirement and slowing down can give us more free time, but also more room for reflection. We spend more time alone, more time thinking, and often we start reflecting at the very worst time, right before we're supposed to sleep. Now, what happens when your mind stays busy at night? Even if your body's tired, your brain stays alert, and that alertness triggers a slight rise in a hormone called cortisol, your body's natural stress chemical. Now, cortisol isn't always bad. It helps you wake up in the morning, but when it rises at night, even just a little, it tells your body, stay on guard, be alert. That's the opposite of what you want before bed. This leads to a restless sleep cycle. You lie there waiting to fall asleep, you finally drift off, then wake up again a few hours later. And when you do wake up, it's not because of noise or pain, it's because your brain never truly shut down. So what can you do? It starts with giving your mind a gentle signal that the day is done. You don't need medications. You don't need complicated rituals. Just a few quiet practices can make a huge difference. Write down your thoughts. Before bed, take 5 minutes to jot down your worries or to-dos for tomorrow. This gives your brain permission to let go of them until morning. Listen to calming music or a low, steady guided meditation. Nothing too dramatic or emotional. Just something soft enough to ease your inner voice into silence. Practice simple breathing. One powerful method is the 4-7-8 technique. Inhale for 4 seconds, hold for 7, exhale slowly for 8. Repeat a few times. Your nervous system begins to slow automatically. One viewer shared this. I stopped doing number 3, stopped overthinking before bed, and my sleep improved almost instantly. That's the power of calming the mind. Because here's the truth, your thoughts don't just exist, they trigger chemistry. And when you learn to lower those stress signals, your brain stops being the problem and starts becoming your ally. Now, maybe you've already tried all that. You've dimmed the lights, you've eaten early, you've quieted your mind, but you're still struggling. If that's the case, it could be your body just isn't tired enough. And that brings us to mistake number 4. Think back to a day when you barely moved. Maybe it was too hot or too cold, or maybe you just weren't feeling up to much. So you stayed indoors, sat in your favorite chair, read a little, watched some TV, had a few small meals, and waited for bedtime. But then something strange happened. That night you couldn't sleep. You felt tired, but not sleepy. Your body felt heavy, but not relaxed. You tossed and turned, wondering, why am I still awake? I didn't even do anything today. Exactly. You didn't do anything. And that's the problem. You see, after the age of 60, it's easy to slow down. We tire more quickly. We avoid extremes, heat, cold, noise. And gradually, without even noticing, our days become more sedentary. And when your body doesn't use energy during the day, it doesn't feel the need to recover at night. But there's more to it than that. Physical movement, even light movement, triggers the release of a key chemical in your brain called serotonin. It's often called the feel-good hormone, but it does something even more important. It helps regulate your sleep cycle. Your body uses serotonin as the raw material to produce melatonin, the hormone that tells you it's time to sleep. So when you don't move enough during the day, your brain doesn't produce enough serotonin. And without serotonin, your melatonin drops, and deep sleep becomes harder to reach. That's why you can feel tired and still sleep poorly. Now here's the encouraging part. You don't need a gym. You don't need fancy equipment. You don't even need to leave your house. A 2023 meta-analysis of physical activity in older adults found that even 30 minutes of moderate movement per day, broken into short sessions, significantly improves sleep quality. So what does moderate mean? It could be stretching your arms and legs after breakfast, doing some light shoulder rolls while watching TV, walking slowly around your home or garden, trying gentle yoga or balance poses in the evening. The best time? Studies show that light movement between 4 and 6 p.m. works especially well. Your body is more responsive then, and it helps reset your internal clock, so you naturally begin to feel sleepy a few hours later. One viewer said it perfectly. All I did was start walking around my house before dinner. Within a week, I started sleeping through the night. Simple, doable, powerful. Because the truth is, your body was designed to move during the day and rest at night. When you stop moving, your body forgets how to rest. But when you move just a little every day, your biology remembers. It starts releasing the right hormones at the right time, in the right rhythm, and slowly, gently, sleep returns. Now that you know the 4 daily habits silently stealing your rest, let's bring it all together. Let's take a breath and step back for a moment. You've just uncovered 4 habits, each one small, each one easy to overlook. But together they explain why so many people over 60 struggle to get the deep, restful sleep they once took for granted. Blue light that confuses your brain, late meals that keep your body working when it should be winding down, a mind that stays too busy to switch off, and a body that hasn't moved enough to deserve rest. None of these are extreme. None of them sound dangerous. But that's exactly why they slip by unnoticed. Sleep doesn't vanish overnight. It's taken one quiet habit at a time. And the good news? You don't need to fix everything at once. You don't need a dramatic overhaul or a long list of new routines. You just need one choice, one small shift. Pick the habit that feels most familiar, the one that made you nod while listening, and change that tonight. Turn off your phone an hour earlier. Eat dinner a little sooner and a little lighter. Write down your thoughts instead of replaying them. Stretch your body just enough to remind it that it's alive. Because the moment you start to do less of what confuses your body and more of what it actually needs, your sleep will start to change. Not weeks from now, not months from now, but in just a few nights. That's what hundreds of people who've watched this channel are already discovering. And that's what I hope you'll discover too. Because you deserve a good night's sleep, not just once in a while, but every single night. Now, before you go, let me leave you with one last thing, a gentle nudge to take your first small step. Now that you know the truth behind your restless nights, I want to hear from you. Which of these 4 habits showed up in your day-to-day? Was it the screen time before bed? A late dinner? A racing mind that won't turn off? Or maybe a day that passed with hardly any movement at all? Let me know in the comments. Just type the number of the one that hit home the most. You'll be surprised how many others are in the exact same situation. And by sharing, you might help someone else recognize their own pattern too. And if you found this video helpful, even just one part, hit the like button. It tells me that this kind of content matters to you. It also helps other people, just like you, discover it more easily. Now, here's something you don't want to miss. In the next video, I'll be sharing 5 everyday foods that can naturally boost your melatonin, the hormone that helps you fall asleep faster, stay asleep longer, and wake up feeling refreshed. These aren't pills. They aren't supplements. Just simple, affordable foods you can find at any grocery store, and one of them might already be in your kitchen. So if that sounds like something you want to try, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications. That way you won't miss it when it drops. Your best nights of sleep aren't behind you. They might just be a few quiet evenings ahead. Take one small step tonight. You'll thank yourself in the morning.